going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. It's your first time stopping by the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. I apologize for not being prepared, but shit, you know what it is on this channel. We keeps it real here. And check this out. I'm going to talk about a story that, in fact, let me start off by saying this. Guys, sometimes you see stories, or you might read up on stories, and you just be like, damn, like that was like really uncalled for. Like, you just ask yourself why, which is basically mainly most of the time the stories I do. This story is out of Pontiac, Michigan, man. And this is something you gotta hear this to believe it. This young man right here, man, well, he's 33 years old. This brother right here is Cornelius Jones. May he rest in peace. Ladies and gentlemen, this man had a gathering at his house with some friends. This man was shot to death in his own apartment by a 22-year-old male who's not known yet, because he said something to the guy about spitting in his sink, which is trifling in itself, whether he had the water running or not. I'm going to tell you something, guys. I try not to take things serious because I know what stress and all this type of stuff does to your body. But the way I look at life is this. To me, life is the struggle to keep death at a considerable distance. I said a phrase before that I heard off of Game of Thrones, and I found it to be true, in my opinion. Not to offend anybody in our religion that's religious, but it works for me. The only God is death. That's the only certainty. And it's the only thing people actually see, that's coming, whether you like it or not. And people don't want to meet it. But it's crazy how people are quick to send somebody else to what they're scared of. Check out this story.
Overnight, people began flooding the Facebook page of a Pontiac man with their grief and astonishment over his tragic death. Thank you for joining us. I'm Glenda Lewis. The shooting reported on Carriage Circle last night around 9:30. Even Sheriff Michael Bouchard calling the motive for the murder of Cornelius Jones unfathomable. 7 Action News reporter Kimberly Craig speaking with family and friends of the man everyone simply knew as Corn.
Cornelius Jones was known to so many people simply as Corn, a man who was friendly and humble, even the sheriff calling the motive for his murder absurdly trivial. Whether he was playing charades with family and friends, dancing, or just being silly, Cornelius Jones was always the life of the party. But around 9:30 Wednesday night, Jones was shot and killed in his 4th-floor Carriage Place apartment in Pontiac, a stunning and unspeakable loss for his family.
He was all about family, just loving one another and lifting one another up and making each other laugh. That's all he was about.
Jones was murdered around 9:30 Wednesday night by a 22-year-old acquaintance who was visiting with several others. Witnesses tell investigators the man spit in Jones's kitchen sink, so Jones told him that was disrespectful and to leave. But instead of just walking out, the man became agitated and opened fire on Jones, shooting him multiple times and then running away.
I'm still trying to wrap my mind around the whole situation on how or even why it happened.
I'm a strong believer of God, and I do believe that God chose him to come home. Whatever situation or scenario he used to bring my brother home, that's what he chose to use.
Using a drone and tracking dogs, Oakland County Sheriff deputies were able to locate and arrest the suspected shooter and another man described as an accomplice.
At the end of the day, God has the last word, and Cornelius Jones, he will have justice.
Jones leaving behind 3 children. His family says he didn't have life insurance, so they've started a GoFundMe for help with burial expenses for the man who made a lasting impact on so many.
Very humble, very giving, friendly, accepted all.
He didn't have much, but what he did have, he gave. He gave willingly. He gave sparingly. He gave graciously.
In Pontiac, Kimberly Craig, 7 Action News.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the story of Mr. Jones, first name Cornelius, nicknamed Corn. May he rest in peace in his foul that was done to him. But this should be a lesson. You can't civilize savagery. You can't. This guy had no home training, was very disrespectful. I guarantee you, it probably went something like this. He went in there and spit in the dude's thing. The dude said something because he had a proper upbringing. That's something you don't do. Your boy, the 22-year-old, felt embarrassed. Dude's clown, dude's laugh. He was embarrassed. It started escalating. Like they said, it escalated. Louder and louder. Talk got more and more vicious. Till it got to the point where he was like, you know what? Get out. Probably get the F out. My man felt disrespected. Pulled that thing, shot, then ran like the bitch that he is. You see that a lot. These dudes talk all this crazy stuff and do what they gonna do, then run away like little kids. What wasn't mentioned is they ran out of the apartment. Mr. Jones lived on the 4th floor. They ran out the apartment. Drones and dogs chased them. They go and throws the gun, just ditches the gun. They got the gun too. They said it was him and then an accomplice. I guess that was his man's. His man's gonna go where he go. Both of them locked up. This dude's nickname was Corn, and he was killed by a corny dude. Go figure. Just because you have somebody in your house, ladies and gentlemen, don't mean they have home training. I don't know nobody that spits and sinks that ain't theirs, or just spits and sinks, period. Even though a lot of dudes probably did that. I mean, it's okay if it's your house, but you got to respect somebody else's stuff. I've thrown people out of my place many a time. Not this one, but when I was younger, then I realized something. A lot of times people are over your house because you one of the few men that got your own shit. Now, I don't know if that's the situation with this young man right here, but his family said nice things about him. A big part of them has been ripped out for nothing. Showed him in his pictures, showed him with his babies. God was a father of 3. I bet his kids loved their father. You probably loved him before he told you about your caveman acting ass. Coming in like a Viking, just sniffing and snotting and spitting all over somebody's shit. What you think gonna happen? You should have just said, yo, my bad, and when he threw you out, just left. How you gonna argue with somebody for spitting in a sink, period? Anyway, makes no sense. Man, a lot of us got some reconditioning to do, and a lot of us can't be reconditioned. That is trifling. That to me is the equivalent of a guy coming in your house and pissing all over your toilet seat. Total disrespect. Both of them dudes, the one dude that did that, and his man, I don't know about his man because I don't really know. They didn't say the part he played in this, but youngin' need to sniff the flowers. For real. You was wrong. Sometimes it's all right to say, hey, I'm sorry, my bad, and just see, this is the one thing I noticed about people nowadays. They get upset with you when you get upset that they did something to upset you. You in this man's house, so you gotta go by his rules. That's why I don't room with men. I don't roommate with men. I learned that one time. Because if somebody has to pay you rent or something like that, a lot of times they try to use that buddy system, them being your boy, as an excuse of why you ain't gonna do nothing because they spent their money somewhere else. Now these guys wasn't roommates. I was just giving an example of what I went through, where it got physical. But it's messed up. Another thing I want to say is this: this guy don't have no health insurance, and they put a GoFundMe up, and they're hoping that it touches somebody's heart to help them. If you noticed on the GoFundMe, it says $6,000. Them stand-up people to me. You know why? The reason why they stand up people is because they didn't ask for $90,000 or crazy amounts of money. A funeral is what, $6,000 to $8,000? They're asking for the bare minimum to put this man, give this man a proper send off. I respect that. They could have been greedy. They could have tried to play on people's heartstrings, but it's not about that. It's about him and the legacy he left with children. See that? That's a good thing they did. They looked like respectable people, had nice things to say. I love how they showed him in happier times. Seemed like a regular guy. Didn't look like he was about no craziness. And they painted him in a positive light. I respect that. May this young man rest in peace. And it's just so crazy how somebody shoots you but don't want that done to them. It's like nowadays a gun is an extension of somebody's arm. And it's like a part of the playing field. This guy wasn't even in the street, y'all. He was in his own home and succumbed to the same danger as if he was walking down the street or being outside. A lot of the stuff that affects us when dealing with death or keeping death at a distance has a lot to do with us personally. How you think, what you ingest in your body, and the type of company you keep. And he succumbed to one of them three things and brought death that much closer to him, whether he knew it or not. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I feel so bad for this dude because, I mean, he did what any man would have did, said something. If you don't know how to act when you're in somebody else's house, don't come through past the fucking welcome mat. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.